Dear hard asset investors like me, as we enter market uncertainty, when systemic chaos emerges, true security lies in the unyielding and the tangible, the dirt, the copper, the buildings. Us asset accumulators should first look to our momentum investing brothers here because they see the upside which counters the downside risk during periods of geopolitical uncertainty. And perhaps our momentum trading brothers would tell us that there's a fracture in our way of thinking. The idolatry of the physical asset, they may say, is a fatal psychological anchoring bias. In a hypervelocity crisis, a fixed asset is not an immovable fortress. It is a static target, structurally incapable of adapting to shifting lines of geopolitical, regulatory, and economic force. And so the re-architecturing of survival perhaps demands a brutal correction for those of us who are asset hoarders. The hard asset may just be a gilded cage. History dictates that when empires fracture, the nomadic and the weightless endure, while the monumental is seized, taxed, or pulverized. The masses hoard physical property because the human mind craves this sensory illusion of permanence. They forget that the walls of Babylon did not save it. They merely define the perimeter of its capture. Consider the structural asymmetry of hyperfluid capital. In a certain sense, there's a tyranny to having invested in the immovable. A factory, a real estate portfolio, a localized distribution hub. These are liabilities disguised as fortresses in times of immense uncertainty. They are bound to geography. When the macroclimate shifts violently, you cannot move a concrete foundation across an ocean. You are trapped with the regime, the tax code, and the physical vulnerabilities of the soil it rests upon. And here we realize in times of crisis, in times of uncertainty, the power and chaos belongs to the frictionless. Liquid capital is a ghost in the machine. It flows silently across digital borders, morphing instantaneously to exploit mispricings, while the owners of physical assets are paralyzed by operational friction. And there's a certain psychological vulnerability to this. The market chronically undervalues the agility of the unburdened, those with liquidity instead of being pent up with hard assets. The willingness to maintain pure, unencumbered optionality allows the sovereign operator in times of uncertainty to step out of the way of following macro knives, leaving the herd to bleed out into their illiquid holdings. And so those of us in the hard assets market, the real estate, the dirt, the investment, the infrastructure, our brothers will tell us that we should not anchor our destiny to concrete and to dirt. We should optimize for velocity. While the masses cling to romanticism of the soil and the heavy machinery, the elite operator maintains total fluid defense, ready to redeploy capital precisely where the new world begins, leaving the wreckage of the old to those of us insisting on holding on to it as we drown. Uncertainty requires liquidity.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Watch this video next.